All right, I know I'm speaking from a somewhat selfish point of view here, but I think this is the most fun video that I'm going to make yet. I'm getting weird with it. We're kind of in that slap happy time. We have 10 days until the NFL draft, and things are starting to get weird, right? Teams aren't signing players, at least not that much. I think Devontae Smith just signed an extension with the Eagles. That's about what you're getting right now, is some extensions and things like that. But I ran across just a hilarious article, in my opinion, just absolutely hilarious. And I believe, and here's my thought on this, this could be true. And it has me asking the question, can the Chargers draft plans actually be that simple? And how much power does Harbaugh actually have? Like, how much power does Harbaugh have when it comes to the draft process? Is it him? Is it Ortiz? Like, what does that look like as far as the power struggle? So here it is. Ex-Michigan standout believes Jim Harbaugh's Chargers will pick several, not one or two, several of his former players. All right, several. He said, all right, this is hilarious. This is Roman Wilson. He said, I wouldn't be surprised if like all 9 of us end up going to the Chargers, referring to the Chargers' 9 draft picks per Fox Sports. He goes, but seriously, like at least 5 or 6. I think he's going to take a lot of us. See, it's interesting when you usually have a coach that goes when he's a coordinator or something like that, and he goes to another team. Often you see that coach take a lot of his former players with him. They're kind of fringe players or guys who are ending in contracts, and they like to bring those players from where they were before over to the new team with them because they understand the system, they understand what they're into. Harbaugh's in a very unique state where he can use rookies as the guys who know how he wants to function and know how he wants to coach. It's a very unique spot. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a mock draft, not with the first pick, not with the number 5 overall pick, but we are going to do a 7-round mock draft where all I take is Michigan Wolverines outside of pick 1. And it's funny, before I did this mock draft, I was reading an article where in a latest mock draft, the Chargers struck gold and Marvin Harrison Jr. fell to them. Now, it was in a totally different way. It was, I think it was Joe Alt that got up in here, or Neighbors went ahead of him, but in this one, it's fine. We'll select Marvin Harrison Jr. Thank you very much. I will take him, even though it's the exact opposite of what I think Harbaugh would do. He might not take Harrison Jr. just out of spite because he's a Buckeye, but that's okay. So anyways, now we go to the board, and what makes sense here is Mike Sainristil still, and honestly, this makes sense for the team. But another player who makes sense for the team is Roman Wilson, right? They need some wide receiver help, but they just got it with Marvin Harrison, so maybe they allow that to go. So I don't think he will stick until our next pick, but Mike Sainristil still, I believe the slot corner is a little bit higher of a need at this point still, and we want to go there. But he might not be the only player available right now. All right, defensive interior, you have Chris Jenkins. I hope he sticks around. All right, now I don't know how many of these Michigan players will be around, so I don't know if we can select all of them. I don't know if we can select all of them. Sorry, Siri's talking to me through my watch here. All right, but we can at least look and see what's coming up. You got Chris Jenkins. You got Junior Colson. You need that linebacker. That's good. Blake Corum. All right, there are going to be players that we absolutely could get. So with this one, I want to take Roman Wilson just because I want to keep it going. All right, so we got Roman Wilson here. So who's left? We can see Chris Jenkins did go 58, which is unfortunate. Sainristil still went 41, so we're going to lose out on those players. So in the third round here, pick 5 of the third round, we are going to absolutely take Blake Corum as the new running back of the future. All right, let's see if there's any other Wolverines that went. This is hilarious to me. All right, so let's see what else we got here. All right, Trevor Keegan. You're looking at guard out of Michigan. That's a player that's still available. And I don't think, honestly, the worst pick that we could have. All right. I want to see if there's anything else that's available. Ladarius Henderson's around. Trente Jones, I think we can pick up late. He's a guy who could be outside or inside. Carson Barnhart, outside or inside. So we're going to save our offensive linemen for later in the draft. That's what I want to do. And with this pick right here, I'm going to see if there's anything else we can do. Yeah, I mean, Cornelius Johnson's around. He's a good wide receiver, but I think we need to firm up that linebacking core a little bit. So we're going to go with Michael Barrett here, even though, you know what? I think he's going to be around. So we're going to take, let's see, we also want to do best available here, right? So let's go Keegan. Let's get a guard. We need to shore up the offensive line. I'm good with that. And then we have a pick coming up very quickly after that. So we're going to take Cornelius Johnson, and I'm just going to trust that my other Wolverines have lasted. Michael Barrett, that's who I wanted, and he lasted. All right, so we're going to get Michael Barrett because you need linebacker help, right? We know that. He's a guy, he's not going to wow you with everything, but he's a player who has just been solid. It seems like he's played everywhere. He started as what was this weird Viper position under Don Brown, and he allowed himself to get a little bit bigger and get himself all the way to straight up just playing linebacker, and he did it very well, but he has a lot of speed that will allow him to do those types of things as well. All right, so we have 3 picks remaining. I know that they are pretty set on the tight end position, and I like both of these guys. I think Jalen Harrell is a good edge rusher. He just isn't as needed right now with what you guys have on the edge, with the edges of the present and the edge of the future, all on your roster. So we're going to go A.J. Barner. He's just this do-it-all kind of tight end that can come in and help this team. There's no doubt about that. So we're going to draft A.J. Barner, and we're going to see what is left for us as we are picking late. We're going to pick up some offensive linemen late. I love Carson Barnhart. I think he was fantastic. I have no problem picking him up. He could play swing tackle. He can play guard. Like, he is a kind of a do-it-all type of player for you. And then with the final pick, do we even have a Michigan Wolverine left? We do not. All right? We do not have one. So we're gonna do something kind of unique, and we are going to go here with Tulia Tagovailoa. And it's not because he's on the top here. It's because when I watch him, I felt like he had even more arm talent than his brother, and just talent in general. He was just playing at Maryland. So I think he is a good player that could be a future consistent backup, and you get him with the 253rd pick. Why not? Let's just take it. All right, so when we go all Wolverines in the draft, this has got to be the worst draft grade I'll ever get in my life. All right, they didn't like that I drafted Blake Corum. That was my actually, they're okay with it. Trevor Keegan was their biggest struggle, and I ended up getting an overall draft of a B+. And look at all those Michigan M's. So this is just a silly video, but get familiar with some of these players, because I think they're going to be some Wolverines that are on the board that absolutely could be taken up by the Chargers. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go Sainra still to help that defense. Roman Wilson. If I had to do it all over again, I probably would have gone Mikey Sainra still in round 2, and then Corum in round 3 still. So there you go. That's where it is. Late rounds, early second and third round, there's a lot of Wolverines that are available to be drafted. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. See ya.